Hi, this is Robin Mosner, and this is Real Talk with my partner, Lori Davis. Lori, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great, Robin. How are you?
Good, good. Hey, Lori, today we're going to talk about why every agent should create their own extended team of reliable and competent resources.
What do you mean by that?
You know, it takes more than just a real estate agent to have a smooth transaction and to provide a pleasurable experience for the client. And there's many people involved in a real estate transaction, such as the home inspectors, a home warranty company, the lenders, the title company, a roofer, an inspector, an electrician, all those types of people that really play and do their part to make a smooth transaction.
That's a really good, really good thing to think about. I talk to new agents in the business all the time, and that's one thing that they really never think about is, really part of their appointments should be setting through the week is to find good, qualified strategic partners to be on their team. That's
Right.
absolutely true. So, what kind of things would you recommend they say or do when they're approaching these type of people?
Well, if we start at the very beginning of the home buying process, I would say the first person that you would have to have on your team is really a reliable, um, knowledgeable lender, right? A lender is going to tell you what type of programs are out there. You know, not every person fits into um, loan A or loan B. So you have to have a lender that is very versed on all types of lending programs out there and also home buyer assistance programs. So it would start with a really good lender that you can rely on.
Okay, so when they meet with that lender, what kind of scenario would that look like? Do you think they should have a nice lunch together? Should they just stop by at the office? How would you suggest they really get to know? What kind of questions would they ask that lender, being their new business?
Well, first of all, I would ask them, what do they specialize in? Not all lenders, specialize in all types of loans. I'm going to give you an example is VA loans. VA loans are one of the best loans out there for veterans. And if a lender is not familiar or does very many of them, I have found lenders try to sway a veteran into a different type of loan program, which is not the best for them. So not only I would ask, how familiar are you with this type of loan, but how many do you do a year? And maybe if you really have a good relationship with that lender, maybe it's not them, but they have somebody in that mortgage company that is very versed. So I'm not saying just go away from that mortgage company, but really find out who is the best at that type of loan program that you're looking for.
And I know that here in Montana, one thing is also because not all, places are equal. So you could have a mortgage broker, you could have a bank, you could have a credit union. Can you explain the difference between those three?
Well, a credit union is they had FHA loans, they had conventional loans, but any credit union or a bank, they tend to have their own special type of portfolio loans.
Hmm.
Broker is now, if you're a broker, they're going to go out and get the funding from another source. So their fees tend to be a little bit more than a mortgage banker, where they actually are the bank. So, and everyone, does tend to have a different set of programs that are available to home buyers.
Hmm.
And
Right.
they have their different criteria. They might have a minimum credit score of 640, where someone might have a minimum credit score of 700. If you bank at that credit union or bank, they might give you a percentage off your interest rate because of that. If you have
That's
it
true.
automatic, so there's all sorts of things. You have to just be versed
Mhm.
in, all types of programs out there and which one is best for you.
Well, and I know personally I've had clients that wouldn't be able to get a loan, certain scenarios, like let's say the house is not worth anything, just the land. Some of the actual mortgage brokers, they don't want to touch weird properties or unique properties. So if you take them to a bank where they bank and they already have a relationship with the bank, a lot of times they'll loan their own personal money to them. So they already have
Right.
a relationship with that person, they'll do the loan. So, and with a credit union, again, you're a member, and a lot of times there's member benefits, and there's some loans that they're going to be willing to do and approve that maybe the mortgage broker can't get done. So it's good as a realtor to really have a credit union to refer people to. They can go open an account there if they don't have
Mhm.
one yet. A lot of people don't know the benefit of having a credit union, as their bank. Even the local banks, they do construction loans, things like that. So it's really good to have the relationships with all three of those types. And then if we move down the list that you have here is title company. So,
Well,
what kind of services does a title company provide, and why would a realtor want a title company that they actually have in their network on their team?
let me just finish up with the lender,
Sure.
not only to have a good relationship with the lender of the type of programs they have, but even if they don't have a certain program and they know somebody that they can refer that client to, that client is better served,
Hmm.
that really says a lot. And if they are trying to get a client a loan and the client has to work on their credit score, if that lender works with them instead of putting them on the back burner or turning them away, that's what I look for, customer service.
Right.
I'm not looking to do a transaction immediately. If we have to put a plan together and work on it together to get the client at the end, that's what we do. That's what I look for. So it's
Yeah,
not just an immediate gratification of a loan. It's, hey, how well are they going to work with that client?
that's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and then going into the title company, as I said, why is the reason a realtor needs to have them on their team?
This is what I use my title company for. I utilize them to open title because I want to know if there's any blemishes, any clouds, or any liens on that title. That has to be resolved before we even put it on the market. I
Okay.
like to be proactive.
Gotcha. And what I like about the title companies is, they do a lot of things for me for my business. For example, I don't want to be alone at an open house. And so they will actually come and work the open house with me or my agents. And they will also provide drinks and, sign in sheets and other things that you need. On top of that, they also, they have sales agents. It's their job to earn the respect for the agents to bring their contracts there. So
Mhm.
they will mingle with you. But on top of that, a good title company, I find, will not only mingle with you and want to get to know you and your business, but they also will do things above and beyond, like actually have trainings with you and your agents,
Exactly.
like social media training, how to build your business. So, having that in your pocket is great too. Plus, when you do have a contract and you need to open escrow, if you already know who you need to email to open escrow, you have a relationship with them, it's easy and quick to check on the title commitment, anything else that you have to check on, it's really great to have that relationship already. And so even though an agent might pick what title company they like to work with, I can put on a buy sell or a purchase contract who I want to work with. And usually I can get that approved. The benefit is I've got communication already. I already feel confident and comfortable with how that title company is going to perform for my client. And I know they're going to do a good service for them and not have a
That's
frustrating process.
that's a good point. Also, a good title company is, they provide a lot of information on school ratings. We cannot steer, if somebody asks you, hey, what is the best school or what is the best subdivision that is assigned to the best school? We
Hmm.
cannot steer people, but what we can do is say, do you know what? The title company has information on all the school districts and we can steer them there.
Hmm.
And the title company provides that information. They provide wonderful city profiles.
Hmm.
They will do, if you have a house that's being listed, they will do a profile for that listing of the HOA docs, of the restaurants, the hospitals, everything in a certain area. So they are just a wealth of informational resources.
Yeah, absolutely. When I open an escrow on a property and I'm the listing agent or the buyer side, whoever's opening it, that is a wonderful resource for them to get the documents. Now, as a listing agent, you should really be proactive and already contact the title company prior to taking the listing and already get all the documents, the
Right.
covenant, the deed, the copy of the deed, all of that stuff, the tax property card. You should be doing that as a listing agent before you even, list the property. But if you are on the buyer side and the listing agent didn't do that and they didn't put any documents on there for you to pull up, then you contact the title company and you can get that information.
Right. Right. That's a good point.
Hmm.
How about home warranties?
A
Lori, do you have
home
a good
warranty.
relationship?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know you and I have talked in detail about that, as far as who you prefer and who you're working with. Regardless, I think you need to have a local contact for your home warranty.
Yes, that's correct. And do you know what? A lot of agents don't do this, but for every house that I list, I put a seller's home warranty on that property. Because one thing you surely do not want happen is you're under contract or your house is listed and a major item goes out and it costs you hundreds or $1,000 to replace that.
Right.
And if you're under contract and it happens, it can bust a deal.
Mm-hmm.
So as little as a $75 service fee, you can have that item repaired or replaced.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So as an agent, not only do you want to ask your seller to put the warranty in place on the seller side and get that done before, you have a contract, right? Before a home inspection, before all that stuff happens. You get that seller warranty in place, and if they, really are a very proactive seller, they might even have their own home inspection and just go through and get things fixed and ready, prior to listing the home. But anyway,
Right.
a home warranty is a great thing as a seller because if they have to use it while it's listed, they don't pay for it until they close, and then that's transferred onto the buyer for the remaining of the year, which is a really incredible thing. And so again, you should contact pick a home warranty company or a couple of them so you can suggest them to your client, and do have a local rep that to get in touch
Right.
with if they
Right.
have to use it or have issues.
Right, right. And one thing I do is if I am a buyer's agent and we are picking a home warranty, I will provide some choices to the buyer. But what I will have is I will have that local rep. And not a lot of not a lot of home warranty companies have local reps. The ones that do, I will ask that local rep to call my buyer and answer questions and go over their policy and coverage.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I will do that. So
That's
my
a really
buyers
good
make an
thing.
educated decision.
Mm-hmm. Very, very nice. So then the next thing that we would suggest is to have a handyman or, a contractor. Having somebody that's in your, not that they're in your pocket, but in your team that you trust, that is going to get a hold of your client in a timely manner and not rip them off. That's a
Mhm.
really important thing because there's a lot of people out there that say they're handymen or they have this job, but they literally, you don't know how they work. You don't know what they charge. You don't know if they're going to, take care of your client. So if you find somebody that's good, that you can refer to them, your client's going to thank you, because that's a very worrisome thing when they're buying a house, if they have to worry whether, or even selling it, that they have to worry about repairs and how much is it going to cost them.
Well, another good reason why it's good to have handymen and service vendors on hand is, if you're buying a house and you're helping the buyers and items come up on an inspection report, I know if you don't have the background to correctly apply a repair price, a lot of times those prices are escalated. So if you have somebody that you can call in and say, hey, I have this issue, what is a fair, reasonable price? It just helps the negotiations go smoother.
Right. And how many times, Robin, do you get an inspection notice where there's electrical issues? I do all the time. And so, even if I'm on the listing side, I'm going to get an inspection notice that says, hey, this electrical work doesn't look right. You need to have a licensed contractor or electrician come in and
Mhm.
service this. So having that, it's really hard to call people you don't know and ask them to do something for you. So you really
Mhm.
need to have those relationships up front, because you've got a limited window from the time that the inspections are done, the inspection notice, and then the resolution. You've
Mhm.
got a very small window to work on getting bids and whatever. So if you already have people that can provide those bids quickly, come to a resolution, then boom, we've agreed upon it. This is what's going to be. Move on, and then the work is getting done. So
Mhm.
it does really streamline that process.
Lori, if a house is older than 10 years old, when I schedule, as a buyer's agent, when we schedule a home inspection, in addition to the home inspector, I also call my roofer
Mm-hmm.
and my AC contractor, because a home inspector, they're not a certified licensed roofer
Mm-hmm.
or an AC contractor. And they might say in their inspection report, they suggest that we get these people. So
Mm-hmm.
what I do to save time, especially on an older home, I will call my roofer already. I will call my AC contractor for them to do an inspection. A lot of times my roofer does not charge a fee to look at the roof. My AC company might charge $65, but that is well worth it and it's peace of mind. So I do that at the same time that we have a home inspector coming out.
Absolutely. And as a real estate agent, you should really get good at identifying FHA and VA issues on a property. If you think that something doesn't look right structurally or electric, wise, talk to your seller and say, you know what, let's be proactive here. Let's just get an opinion,
Right.
on what it's going to be like. And like she said, even if they charge $125 to come give an opinion, that is, could save you 30, $40,000
Mhm.
down the road on people giving you less money because they think there's a problem with your house.
Right.
So these are just things to learn as you become an experienced agent. The more homes you sell, the more you're going to understand what to look for and to make sure that you're helping your seller address those issues up front before it's an issue for a
Mhm. Right.
buyer.
The next one I have as an insurance broker. Why is it helpful to have an insurance broker on our extended team?
Well, again, with an insurance agent, they have to do a homeowner's insurance quote. Whether it's a condo, they have to give a quote on that for the inside, as we talked about on our last show, and on a townhome. So an insurance agent is very valuable because, again, in our contracts, they've got a certain amount of time that they have to choose an insurance agent and be able to make sure that they get their declaration page and get it over to the lender. Now, with insurance agents, again, there's different ones. I've had very, very good ones that will actually go through with my client and say, these are the items I suggest, and let them know what will happen if they don't have this added insurance, right? Different umbrella policies. I've had other insurance agents that don't because they're afraid to lose the client. They don't
Right.
want to scare them off. So you want somebody that's going to be honest with them and also provide to them what is the best scenario and budget for what they need coverage for in their
Right.
mortgage and with their home.
Right. The one thing that I use insurance agents for, and this is something that I learned when I first got into real estate, people were taking the insurance money to have the roof repaired, and they never had the roof repaired. So I was the buyer's agent, and we were going to buy a house. And when my buyers went to have the house insured, the insurance company knew that the roof was bad and that it was never taken care of.
Mm.
So they would give us homeowners insurance, but they would exclude the roof. So what I do is when I am the buyer's agent and we are going to put a contract in on a property, I'll call my insurance broker and say, hey, can you run a clue report? That clue report sticks, it follows the address, not the owner's name, but it follows the address. And it will tell you if there were any claims filed against that property. So if there was, and the seller's disclosure doesn't list that because they asked, were there any insurance claims filed? You're going to know if there's a discrepancy, and it's going to raise a question. So you're going to make sure that, hey, if there was a file claimed for a roof, that roof was taken care of.
Yeah, I've even seen that happen with just like the concrete structure wall of a basement.
Mhm.
If there's issues with that needing to be repaired or fixed and the wall straightened, or people have had claims, even, had a basement professional come out, they
Right.
had the work, the bid, everything turned in, the insurance claim, and then it was never fixed. So
Right.
it does happen. It
It
absolutely
does
does. So
happen,
that's a really good thing to point out.
especially for water damage in Texas.
Hmm. Yep, absolutely. So again, buyer beware, right? But that's a good
Mhm.
thing to ask for them to do. A cleaning service, again, that's a nice thing to have as well because one, if you're selling new construction, there's dust and powder all over the place. The builder is never going to clean it the way that's really move-in ready. You can offer to maybe give that as a closing gift or at least refer people to the cleaning service. And, because you're referring so much business, they might give a discount to your client, which is really
Mhm.
nice.
Mhm. Right. How about a moving company?
A moving company too, I think is nice to, have a suggestion for. We don't necessarily have as many people moving out of state. We have a lot of people moving here. But with a moving company, it's also a good idea to have them because a lot of people are packing up, spending 10, 15, $20,000 in moving expenses to move out of state. So if you can get somebody that, you're giving a lot of referrals to, again, maybe they're going to give your client a discount and that they can schedule them in because you're a priority, they're on your team.
Mhm. The one thing I worked out with my moving company that I work with is they supply all the packing and the boxes for
Hmm.
my clients. My clients will return the boxes, but they supply the tape, the plastic wrap, the boxes, the wardrobe boxes are really very
Hmm.
helpful.
Yeah.
So that's the extra thing that, my clients don't have to go and buy.
Yep, it's really nice. So again, these are just thinking about ways to provide a better customer service to your clients, and it's there's a slew of them. And again, also what the relationship is, it's a phenomenal networking group that you've created too. So don't think of it about it just at the fact of the service for your clients, but another of it is that when you want to appreciate the clients that you have and you want to appreciate your past, future, and current customers, you have a sphere of people that also have customers, and you can come together and actually throw incredible appreciation parties for them. So that's another added benefit to networking with people that want to do business with you. Okay, so keep that in mind. If everybody's splitting the cost of a party to appreciate their clients, it's not as expensive, and it's something that is easier to plan for, twice a year, which you should be doing.
Right. Do you know, Lori, my extended team that I created, it has evolved over the years. There have been people that have come and go. The one common factor that we all share, and when I choose somebody to work with, is customer service is number one. And if I make a referral to one of my clients, I will follow up with them. What was the service provider that I referred, were they professional? Did
Right.
they show up on time? Was the price that they quoted, was that the final price?
Hmm.
How were they treated? Would they refer that person to them?
Hmm.
So that's very important that you follow up on the referrals that you give,
Hmm.
because that is an extension of yourself.
Yeah.
And another reason that I found that having an extended team is, if we're in a multi-offer situation and we have to cut down the option period to be more competitive, I know that I can call my team and they are going to turn around on a dime to make that happen.
Hmm.
If you don't have an established team and you just have to call for their next available appointment, you could lose out. And
Yeah.
you don't want to do that. You always
No.
want to be, yeah, number one for your client.
Yeah, and you want them to know you. They want to trust you too. It's
Right,
really on both sides, right? And as you're building
right.
those relationships with them, if they themselves end up buying or selling, they're usually going to think about using you. And also, within their family and their sphere. So, it's a really good business practice. Remember, you're an independent contractor, you run your own business, you want to treat it like a business, and you want to get out there and set those appointments. So, if you're new into this business, make that part of your weekly schedule. Get on the phone in the morning, look people up, look up their reputation, look for reviews, and then call them and set an appointment to meet them. Learn about their business, get their cards, find what their website is, everything that you need to know in order to make it smooth for them to work with you. So do that now. Make sure that you do and get them put into your book to get those appointments set. If you don't have the list like what we just went through of these types of service providers to be on your team, again, it's a really important thing to make sure that you do. You're going to be so happy that you did, and your clients are going to be so happy that they can say to you, do you know a painter? Do you know a roofer? Do you know a contractor? And trust me, they're asking you because they don't want to have to go through the process of finding somebody, and they shouldn't have to. That should be something you take care of for them as part of your customer service as being a real estate professional.
Correct. Okay, anything else, Lori?
No, I just, I want to again just let everybody know that if you have questions about anything that we're bringing to you, again, we do, some of our Real Talk shows are about, buyers and sellers, some are about agents, but we do think that we're providing value to you. And if you agree with us, please let us know. If there's anything that you would like to have answered, any questions you have, you know where to reach us. And that's at the Social Marketing RE Pros Facebook page. Reach out to us, send in a message, and we're happy to answer your questions.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lori. Have a wonderful weekend, and thank you everybody for joining in.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend, and then we will see you guys next week. Talk to you soon.